After years of working together as spies for MI6, a couple learns they are having a child and decide it's time to quit their jobs. But at the end of the day, their job is to hunt them. 15 years before his retirement, Matthew and Emily receive a phone call from MI6 headquarters telling them that their destination is his 8th birthday party at his apartment. Once there, they disguise themselves as a French couple. Taking advantage of their appearance as French arms dealers, they manage to play the role perfectly, and their target, an arms dealer known as Horace, does not suspect anything and is able to have fun at the party. Using the previous handshake, Emily uses the device to scan her hand to obtain a fingerprint, which is then used to obtain a device known as an IC key, also known as a master key. Whoever has the key can destroy the entire city. The alarm goes off and the mansion's security guards show up, but they are quickly dispatched and are unable to deal with the couple. Mission Supervisor Chuck soon arrives at the rescue meeting point and instructs them not to say anything to anyone about retrieving the IC key. Upon arriving at the rescue point, it is clear that fellow agent Barron has a strong interest in Emily, but he does not show it. On the plane, Emily reveals that she is pregnant with Matthew's child, but worries that he will not be responsible. Raising a child to be a spy is not ideal in most cases. However, he really wants to help raise the baby and is happy to finally be a father. To celebrate this moment, he asks the flight attendant to bring him champagne. At this point, Emily tries to go to the bathroom, but is not allowed. Noticing something unusual, before they have time to think, Emily is grabbed from behind by a flight attendant and asks him to give her the IC key. Matthew carefully takes it out and tosses it to him. Distracted by this, the butler lets Emily go, and they quickly catch him and throw him out. When everyone on the plane turns out to be the bad guys, a battle ensues. Emily disarms the gun before engaging the bad guys, but the aerial host manages to find her and load the gun. He tries to shoot Emily, but Matthew grabs him from behind and misses. The bullet hit the pilot, the plane went out of control atop a mountain, and the plane's owner was holding a wrench when the impact split the plane in two. Before you know what's happening, the plane is about to hit the bottom. Seeing this, Matthew grabs the parachute and gives it to Emily since he is the only one left. He tells her to take care of herself and the baby because he is going to sacrifice himself. At this point, Emily doesn't listen to his nonsense and grabs his thigh as they slide through the snowy mountains. After landing safely, Matthew says there is no need to continue his espionage mission now that he is about to give birth. Their plane crashes, so headquarters decides they won't survive and decides this is their chance to disconnect with them and start a new family life. 15 years later, the couple is living as a happy family with 2 children, Alice and Leo. Alice is a stubborn teenager, so they are sometimes afraid to confront her when she does something naughty. But she's smart enough to figure out when they're lying, like when she hears her father speaking in Russian and accusing them of lying about their real identities. In the car, Emily tries to be nice to her daughter and asks if they can watch a movie later, but her daughter declines, saying she has a study date with one of her friends. Arriving at school, the couple watches their daughter kiss her boyfriend and even uses binoculars to get a better look. Seeing this, Alice calls them and thinks they are acting strange in front of her friends. At home, Emily continues to complain that she takes care of her daughter in a way she never even received from her own mother. When I heard a beep, I knew it was my daughter's computer. After trying random login passwords, she notices a notepad in the back of the computer and guesses the password correctly. Matthew comes to join her, and she points out to him that Alice may be lying to them. As spies, they must always keep an eye on their children. Finally, When you enter your password, you will see that Alice is somewhere other than her friend's house, as mentioned above. Thanks to the GPS tracker on her phone, they finally realize she's at the club. Once there, the couple asks their daughter to leave the premises, but she points out that other children her age are also having fun, revealing that she has a fake ID card that allows her to enter the club. At that moment, a guy walks up to Emily saying Alice isn't going anywhere, calling her a boomer. As Emily starts to walk out, she's grabbed by the guy. Furious, Emily grabs him by the throat, smashing his head on a platform. A huge battle breaks out, and Matthew also has to fight. The couple ends up crashing the party. Matthew notices a child recording them and grabs his phone to delete the footage. In the car, they argue about her lying about studying at a friend's house. She is more interested in how her parents were able to compete the way they did in the club. The couple also lied and told her that they had learned some moves in their taekwondo sessions and that they had become great protectors by practicing. Emily does not believe them and returns to her room. Emily can't help but remember the good old days of being a spy. While talking to ease the tension, Matthew tries to calm her down by reminding her that they chose to leave this life behind for the family they chose. To lighten the mood, Matthew fights with her. Meanwhile, Alice accuses her brother of revealing her whereabouts, but he denies any involvement, although he is happy that he was arrested. The next morning, Chuck visits them. Matthew is shocked to see him and reveals that he was able to track them from an online video of them hitting a man in a nightclub. He also reveals that Baron, one of their colleagues, is the one who trapped them and is working with Horace. He watches them and thinks their home has been compromised and they need to find somewhere safe. He could not finish his sentence when he was shot dead by a sniper. At this time, mercenaries join the fight and shoot at them from time to time. Luckily, the kids are at school and they can dodge bullets and take a car to pick up their kids. As Matthew tries to escape from his pursuers, he realizes that he still has the key and that he did not give the correct key to its owner during the plane crash. He says he hid it at Emily's mother's house in England. Emily naturally is not happy with the fact that he hid everything from her. When a car gets too close, Matthew fills a Diet Coke bottle with Mentos and throws it at the bad guy. The spray causes them to lose control and collide with a truck, sending them flying. They will pick up the children immediately and go straight to the airport. The children keep asking them a lot of questions, and they start revealing some secrets that they have hidden from the children all their life. To answer their questions, Emily reveals that her grandmother is still alive and intends to be there for a while. Arriving in London, the couple continues to hide their faces from the cameras, and Alice still doesn't understand anything. They quickly take a bus to a secluded parking lot and steal the car, claiming it was abandoned by their personal driver. Meanwhile, the Baron arrives at the airport and uses camera footage to determine his location, also tracking several of Horace's men. In the car, the couple asks their children to turn off their cell phones to avoid being tracked. When they run out of gas, they decide to stop at a gas station. The children begin to argue about the true identity of their parents. Looking at their passports, they are surprised to find that they answer to different names. One of the children Googled his last name on the play switch and discovered it belonged to a deceased person. The couple begins to make plans to assess the situation. Matthew shares that he needs to get the IC key and take it to MI6 to get immunity. At that moment, a group of Gore's henchmen arrive at the gas station. Seeing this, Matthew used a gas pump as a flamethrower to fight the villains. Emily happily engaged in hand-to-hand combat with them, and the children watched in shock and awe as their parents performed these stunts. After an argument, the couple quickly took the children to their car. As they leave, the Baron arrives with his deputy. Matthew attempts to create a barrier between them, firing a truck loaded with giant pipes and slamming it into the road, preventing the Baron and his men from pursuing him. In the car, the children are obsessed with finding out who their parents really are. Unable to defend themselves anymore, Matthew reveals that they worked for the CIA as spies, but that was in the past. At that moment, Matthew learns that his son's Switch has a Wi-Fi connection, so he takes it from him and tosses it across the road. When they arrive at Emily's mother's house, a gunshot suddenly rings out, and it turns out that Mamie has shot a harmless bird. A heated argument broke out between mother and daughter, but they calmed her down. Matthew tries to diffuse the tension by revealing their true intentions for being there. At this point, Grandma's lover, a middle-aged man known as Nigel, comes to greet everyone and wants the children to call him Grandpa. Meanwhile, with the help of his partner, the Baron learns that Emily's mother actually worked for MI6 and is able to locate them. Nigel takes the kids to his special room where he tries to show Leo his school stuff, pointing out that he also writes computer code, trying to impress the kids. Matthew finally reveals to Grandma that he hid the key in her compound and only came for it. Another steamy moment ensues, and Emily reveals that her mother was never around while she was growing up. The grandmother replies that her daughter hates her, and Alice secretly overhears the conversation and leaves without her grandmother noticing. Grandma says she has always tried her best to balance work and motherhood, but Emily insisted that she attend boarding school in America. The couple goes looking for the key, and Grandma bonds with her granddaughter. Meanwhile, a group of armed militia successfully invades the premises. After receiving the keys, the couple hears a noise outside, and when they enter the house, they are shocked to see their grandmother tied up next to Nigel. They quickly free her, but in doing so, she is surrounded by Chuck's men. They saw him killed by a sniper and were shocked that he was still alive. He revealed that while visiting them, the sniper they were using was fake. So far, everything is going well because he still knew they had the key and actually wanted them to bring it. He also reveals that after 15 years of their disappearance, the agency blamed him for the loss of the key, and in the process, he was fired. He lost everything and now plans to sell the key on the black market in the hope of getting everything back. Meanwhile, a group of armed men are watching the grandmother and believe she is still tied up. She knows how to sneak in without anyone noticing and destroy them with tranquilizers. When another armed man appears, she fights him and the gun fires, hitting Nigel in the arm. Using a distraction, the couple quickly disarm some of the men, but Chuck instructs his men to take the children hostage and warns the couple not to do anything stupid unless they want to harm the children. They're then knocked out from behind. They wake up to Grandma's voice and check the surveillance cameras to find clues. Luckily, Leo can reveal that he still wears a ring on his thumb. This will tell you where it is stored. It turns out that Chuck is trying to sell the key to the highest bidder because Gore didn't pay money to get it back. So Horace sent his men to search for him. Chuck begins by demonstrating the key's abilities with the help of a genius computer. With just a few presses of a button, this key can shut off electricity to an entire city or even open a seawall controlled only by state naval officers. Seeing this, buyers start making offers. Meanwhile, the two men arrive at the building and find a guard guarding the entrance. So you have to fight like crazy to defeat them all. The auction ended and the keys sold for $250 million. The Baron finally arrives at the building and reveals to the couple that he knows Chuck is behind this incident and wants to take him into custody, but they must cooperate. They find Chuck and he flees the building with the couple in pursuit. Chuck calls his team to get the kids on the boat and travels with them in the meantime. Gore's men stop them, hold them at gunpoint, and demand their keys. The couple clearly don't care. At that moment, a sniper point appeared on the face of one of the guys. The shooter turned out to be none other than Emily's mother. At this point, Gore's men give up, take their bikes, and run after Chuck, who is already leaving on the boat with the children. Meanwhile, some of Gore's men receive a call that they have escaped, so another group chases the couple on bikes. After a quick turn, the riders end up in a dumpster, and Emily pushes her pursuers onto the platform, causing them to crash. Emily manages to find a boat and pursues Chuck, and is later joined by Matthew. One of Chuck's men in charge of the keys is invited to join them. After seeing Chuck's men, Nigel is unable to stand idly by and simply drives at high speed, causing him to crash into a car, knocking out the driver. He comes into the house and tells his grandmother that he has brought the key, and she asks him to try and close the gate. However, during the interview, he lied on his resume, and not knowing what was being displayed on the computer's user interface, began to panic and ended up pressing a random button that returned an error code. Meanwhile, Emily arrives on the boat and Chuck's men try to fight them, but they are easily defeated and thrown into the water. Nigel shockingly presses some random buttons on the computer and the barrier suddenly begins to close. Seeing this, the family begins to jump into the water. When Chuck tries to hold them back, Matthew, with the help of his wife, knocks Chuck back into the water. Before Chuck could come to his senses, the boat hit the barrier, and it was too late. The family finally arrived safely in America. Alice manages to score a penalty and win her first football championship match. As everyone celebrates their victory, Alice tells her mother that she would like to go to the movies with her, and Nigel promises Leo that he will teach him everything he needs to know about espionage. The couple is happy that things are finally returning to normal, but the Baron, hiding in the back seat of the car, tells them that Chuck is still alive. Emily needs a partner in the fight, and it's not Matthew. Curious as to who his new partner is, the Baron reveals that it is his father. Matthew is shocked to hear this, as Emily had not said that her father was still alive. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want more from this channel, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.